Yes, you're welcome. Let's continue the study of the book of Acts. Now, I stop at where snake bite John. Paul. Write this one down. The kingdom is not religion. Whenever you preach the kingdom, you will irritate the religious people. They won't like you. They won't like you. Therefore, consider you see you are learning. When you start telling people, they see you as hypocrites. Yes, you are going to pay price. God will argue with you. When you preach and teach the kingdom of God, it threatens the security of religion. Paul was formerly a religious man before he met it. You know, he said something. He said he was the chief of the Pharisees. Now he's talking to the same guys, the Pharisees and the scribes. And he said, they examined me. They found nothing wrong with me. Now I'm trying to summarize something in the book of Acts because I'm going to give you an assignment. He says, I was not guilty of any crime deserving death. But when the Jews objected, I was compelled to appeal to Caesar. Not that I had any charge to bring against. I didn't have a charge to bring against me or against them. He said, I got a problem with them. I never attacked them. I simply was preaching the kingdom. Underline that. For this reason, verse 22, I've asked to see you and talk with you. It is because of the hope of Israel that I'm bound with chains. What? Hope of Israel. Bound with chains. Hope of what? Hope of Israel. What is that hope of Israel? What is the hope of Israel? It's the coming of Messiah. He says, look, I'm a Jew. I believe in this Messiah coming also. I was once part of you. The difference is he came, he started preaching Christ. Do you know they had to die for and they replied, we have not received any letter from Contd. We haven't had anything to do anything wrong. We are preaching for God. You are teaching other stuff. But what we are trying to tell you is, we don't know anybody called Jesus. All these things were going on. They were punishing him for preaching the gospel, the kingdom of God. They were trying to tell him to shut up. But he did not. If you study the book of Acts very well, you know Paul said, I was killed. You know, he said, I'm not preaching anything different. Except I believe it has already happened. Nothing has changed. Jesus said in the book of John, many of you standing here with me now will be alive when I come in my kingdom. So all these things and all those things that happen in that book was about the kingdom of God. So all through, Paul had only one message. That's where I'm going. He didn't preach grace. He didn't preach healing. He didn't preach gift of the Spirit. He didn't preach all this deep stuff. He only wrote to correct. Paul's message was the kingdom of God. Same message Jesus led. And that's how you are supposed to be preaching. I am supposed to be preaching. Acts chapter 28, verse 24. When Paul preached the kingdom of God, what happened? Verse 25. They disagreed among themselves. When he gathered people together, he was preaching the kingdom. They disagreed among themselves. And they began to live after Paul made his final statement. Let me tell you something. Take note. Whenever you teach the kingdom of God to religious people, they will disagree with you. Because it is the kingdom teaching that comes to cancel religious mindset. Religion is what you do until you find kingdom. So, a good example is that man, Nicodemus. Remember, Nicodemus was not just a religious man. The Bible says he was the chief of the synagogue. That means he was the Jew of the synagogue. And he came to Jesus, 30-year-old guy, in the night, and said, look, I'm the Jew, I'm the pastor, I'm the bishop, I'm the reverend. How can I enter this kingdom you are talking about? It means you can be Jew, you can be bishop, you can be reverend, you can be everything, and still not be in the kingdom. Do you know, at that time Paul was talking, the Bible says they arranged to meet Paul on that day. And he began to tell them about the kingdom from morning till evening. From morning till evening. So everything taught was kingdom. That is why it's our assignment. It's our job to tell the world about the kingdom of God. Now, let me give you an assignment. I want you to go into the old book of Acts of Apostles. From chapter 1 to the last chapter. Bring out every verse. Okay, in this chapter 1, he talked about this. Summarize it. This. Then chapter 2, talk about this, until the end of the chapter. And make it audio. Don't write it down, audio, so that it can be easier. And by the time you finish, we will now come back to talk on it. Everybody that preached there, the rally Paul did a lot of job there. Everything you see should be about the kingdom. Right. So, I won't go too far on that. Just do the assignment and get to know why. And we are still coming back to study what the epistles of Paul. I believe today we've learned something about Paul's writing. Not majorly gospel, about correction. Living, how you are living your kingdom life. And you should be careful of these people with the religious spirit. Nothing more dangerous. Nothing is more dangerous than the religious spirit. All these religious people, they won't listen if God did not touch their mind. They did a lot of. In fact, you know they carry Paul. They stone him. You read it. They stone him. For Romans, capital punishment is the cross. For Jews, capital punishment is stoning. sọ́lọ́kùtà àwọn Jews àwọn Rome wọ́n gbé ọ sórí àgbélébùú. They stole him. Wọ́n stole ẹ̀ ló ti kú wọ́n gbà kó ti kú torí kò ní mọ́ wọ́n ní pé kò ní mọ́ wọ́n á gbé lọ sẹ́yìn òde ìlú wọn lọ jù sígbó. And a criminal they always throw them away. Wọ́n máa ń jù wọ́n sígbó ni wọ́n yìí sí wọn. One God said, and my spirit went out. Now I don't say, I was able to get the first heaven, second heaven, third heaven, fourth heaven. Are you getting it now? The whole thing was explained. Now, yeah, how can I communicate this message? Let me go back into this body and continue the body. And suddenly, wọ́n rí bó tún mí, wọ́n gbé, wọ́n jù sẹ́yìn odi, wọ́n so wọ́n jù sẹ́yìn odi. Pẹ̀lú bọ́n ṣe só lọ́wọ́ só lẹ́yìn tó bọ́ sẹ́yìn odi, bọ́ sí ìlú kejì, ó tún continue preaching the gospel pẹ̀lú okùn lọ́wọ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. God. We will study Paul more in this class. God bless you. We'll meet in the next class and God will be with you. Bye.